1992, the year of Pearl Jam, Pissheads and Princes of Bel-Air. Here at the Whole Shebang channel, we're grading and ranking the summer movie seasons. The rules are simple: we watch the movies of the summer, and every classic movie we come across gets 2 points, and 1 point for every underrated film. So will the summer of 92 be able to knock current champ of summer of 89 off its perch? On this episode, police change the rules so they can try it on with witnesses whilst interrogating them.
Did you see anything?
No, I saw a flash and then I felt the pain, but that's all I remember.
And Mission Impossible fans disappointed by new villain.
I've no wish to fight.
He can hear its heartbeat.
Where'd he go?
He knows it's out there.
May is packed to the brim with releases, whilst June is pretty quiet, I'm guessing to stay away from the anticipated Batman Returns. First up, Split Second. Set in a dystopian future of 2008 London, however, unlike the real 2008 London, it isn't plagued by a recession and waves of happy slappings, but instead a lot of bad weather. Rutger Hauer is a cop tracking a killer. When his detective skills don't work in finding the criminal, he resorts to the old-fashioned police method of shooting your gun in random directions in the hope you hit the murderer. Folks sees Tom Selleck stuck looking after his elderly parents. Night on Earth is a Jim Jarmusch indie darling following cab drivers around the world. K2 isn't a prequel to the Jim Belushi dog comedy K9, but a drama where Michael Biehn plays a yuppie who gets stuck on a mountain.
Welcome to Star City, boys!
For Chief Dale Dixon, it's the chance of a lifetime.
Follow me! After 10 years of busting peeping toms and stop sign runners, I'd kind of like to take a crack at the big time.
The first underrated point of the summer goes to One False Move, written and starring Billy Bob Thornton. It's a hard-hitting drama where Bill Paxton is a sheriff tasked with intercepting some thieves inbound to his tiny town. It starts off with a pretty depressing beginning, but ends up becoming a gripping story with really likeable and interesting characters in it. Also out that day is CrissCross, a coming-of-age story starring Goldie Hawn. Big girls don't cry, they get even. It's a comedy about a girl dealing with her annoying step-parents. And Drew Barrymore tries her hand at being a femme fatale, ripping apart a rich family's life in Poison Ivy. Oh, what's that noise? Is it Archangel Gabriel's trumpet signalling the incoming apocalypse? No, it's a jazzy saxophone, and that can only mean one thing.
I'm thinking we should cut the blue wire. Hey, wait!
What?
That's not what I'm thinking.
What do you think, maybe the red?
No! I'm thinking that this evening's in 42 seconds. We can go upstairs, wait for the bomb squad, have a cappuccino.
Yes, it's the third and most successful film in the Lethal Weapon franchise, and the king of this summer in terms of money making, but Lethal Weapon 3 seems to be the one that fans don't like as much, citing its overly comedic tone and unmemorable villain, but I still love this installment. Riggs and Murtaugh are always fun together, and Rene Russo and Mel Gibson have good on-screen chemistry thanks in part to script doctor and Rebel Alliance leader Carrie Fisher, who rewrote a lot of the dialogue between them. It's a fun action film where they actually did blow up a building for a scene. They do shoehorn in Joe Pesci into this one, who since the last film has become Oscar-winning hot property.
Oh, it's my privilege, thank you.
In this one, Pesci has a new haircut, a new job, and a new character, playing an estate agent. And the soundtrack certainly makes sure to let you know he's the comic relief every time he's on screen.
How's this, huh? It's great? Okay?
Just a minute, please. You can't go in there.
What?
I don't have a...
Oh, so. Perfect.
What's also bizarre about this is to find online that Mel Gibson did his own behind-the-scenes video diary of his time on set of this sequel, which features wacky adventures where he gets attacked by midget clown assassins.
Where's my twin brother?
And one moment where he accidentally drops a cigarette on his plane's pilot's lap, causing it to crash Al-Qaeda style into an office block. And in one genuinely nice moment, he gets a call from Batman Michael Keaton asking if he can borrow Mel's girdle.
You know that girdle you wear?
Oh, the girdle?
Yeah, where'd you get that?
You know, what's the matter? Putting on a little pork, are we, pal?
Yeah, no, I have a friend who wants to get one.
Oh, for a friend, yeah, sure.
I think it's just as entertaining as the other installments, so it gets an underrated point from me.
What?
I can't retire.
I'm contractually obligated to do one more sequel. If you're not up for car chases, there's the Waterdance that same day where Eric Stoltz loses his legs and learns to adapt to his new life. Bill Paxton pops up again this month in The Vagrant, which is a good idea for a short film that sadly doesn't quite work stretched out to a full feature. On May 22nd, Encino Man was released. This has terrible reviews, but I thought it was a harmless teen movie about a caveman who was unfrozen in 90s LA. This launched the careers of Brendan Fraser and also of Pauly Shore.
For about 10 minutes.
For hundreds of years, his people worked the land, but they could never own it.
The bat in our house!
I'll work my own land someday.
Far and Away is a sweeping epic about Irish immigrants coming to America, starring Tom Cruise and Nicole McKidman. I thought this wasn't as bad as I was expecting, and it does feature some memorable moments, like this bit where Nicole Kidman takes a peek on an unconscious Tom Cruise's dick.
Was there an alien on board?
Yes.
There's definitely something in here with us.
After the success of Aliens a few years earlier, there was a big push to churn out another sequel. 20th Century Fox then went to a number of different people, offering the film out to anyone in Hollywood that would take a meeting, but none of them took the bait. Finally, they settled on now respected director David Fincher. However, back then he was just an up-and-coming whiz kid who shot music videos. Presumably they thought him directing Michael Jackson was good enough experience to move him on to Alien Abominations. There were a lot of ideas from people about what a third Alien film was going to look like.
At first we thought about a scientific way station in space where sort of covert experimentation was going to go on.
Was that we would go to where the aliens actually come from.
His concept and visualization.
James Cameron used to always talk about the possibilities of Alien 3 and what would happen.
Maybe I saw more.
Everyone who was dying off just always had these chances whether they were coming back.
From then on in, you know?
It's about a killer robot driving instructor that travels back in time for some reason. His best friend's a talking pie.
In fact, there were so many ideas that even the teaser trailer itself was confused, advertising something different than what we got.
In 1992, we would discover on Earth, everyone can hear you scream.
One thing's for sure though, everybody agreed that what Alien 3 definitely wouldn't be is a repeat of the first or second films. So what they ended up settling on was a remake of the first film, pretty much. After the events of the second film, Ripley's ship suffers a malfunction and crash lands on a penal colony full of Sinead O'Connor fans, only to find an alien has managed to cling onto the wheel of the spaceship and depressingly kill off all the three main characters from the last film, much to the surprise of the actors playing those roles.
First of all, I found out I wasn't going to be in the movie. Okay, I mean, I heard it through my agent or whatever. You're not in it.
Now, skinhead Ripley tries to warn her new colleagues of the alien threat with little success.
It's here. You got Clemens.
Stop this raving at once.
I'm telling you, it's here.
Get there and get that foolish woman back to the infirmary.
With director David Fincher fed up with the constant studio interference, with there being strain between wanting to do something different and wanting to stick to the formula. The end result is a sequel that got a bad reception from fans and critics. It's at times too dark, with dogs dying and children being cut apart. Whereas the second one is a thrilling and beautifully made sci-fi action film, this one feels more like a gritty horror flick that looks like it's been shot inside of a dirty public toilet. Whereas James Cameron's Aliens has one great set piece after another, Alien 3 has one scene after another of the characters sitting around and having meetings about what they're going to do and arranging to discuss when they're going to have their next meeting.
Right! This calls for immediate discussion. So we got to get up off our asses and stop just talking about it.
Yeah. I agree. It's action that counts, not words, and we need action now.
Yeah, you're right. We could sit around here all day talking, passing resolutions, making clever speeches. It's not a shift. One Roman soldier.
So let's just stop gabbing on about it. It's completely pointless and it's getting us nowhere.
Right.
It's full of effects that were ahead of their time. Unfortunately, they were PlayStation 1 level effects, so they've since become a bit dated. And we get lots of POV shots from the alien's perspective, which at times makes it feel like you're watching someone play a Xenomorph simulator video game. And whilst we're on the subject, there is also an Alien 3 tie-in video game, which, to give you the full Alien 3 experience, features a level where you take control of David Fincher and you can run around the offices of the 20th Century Fox shooting at studio executives.
Don't shoot!
It's amazing to me that Fox is the #1 studio in the country because they're all such a bunch of morons.
The last weekend of May has Diary of a Hitman, where Forrest Whitaker struggles with an assignment to kill a murderer, and Teresa Russell starring thriller Cold Heaven.
I've never seen anybody killed before.
If you testify, I'm gonna put you in the last place on earth that Vince would ever look for you. She's an ideal prospect for rehabilitation.
Absolutely not.
But also that weekend is Sister Act, with Whoopi Goldberg having to hide from the mob in a convent that was a big success at the box office that spawned a sequel and even a musical. In the 80s, one of the reasons why there were so many car crashes was because everyone was addicted to reading Tom Clancy novels. The spy thriller books were selling like crazy, and Hollywood capitalised on this with the Hunt for Red October movie in 1990 that starred alpha male of the Baldwin family, Alec, as the Jack Ryan character, and it was a big hit. So this summer saw Baldwin return as the character.
From the producer of The Hunt for Red October. Get down! Based on the best-selling novel.
Oh, that's a bit weird. Alec Baldwin seemed to have had plastic surgery to make himself look like Indiana Jones. No, in fact, Paramount Pictures decided to evolve Alec Baldwin Pokemon style into the more bankable Harrison Ford, now playing the CIA analyst. The studio used Alec Baldwin's commitments to doing a New York play as an excuse to replace him. The new Jack Ryan movie was called Patriot Games. Harrison Ford takes over the role, this time going up against Irish terrorists, too extreme even for the IRA. Sean Bean plays the villain, starting his successful career as being the villain everyone gets a turn at killing at some point. Whilst it's not as good as Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games is a solid spy thriller with Jack Ryan's family put under constant threat to make a tense plot, and a film that would scar Bill and Sean Bean for life.
Is it true you got a scar out of that?
I couldn't figure out how to kill me at the end. So I used to fly nearly every weekend back to LA from London to try and
That's some other way to kill him.
Yeah, you know, a fight between me and Harrison Ford, and he had a big boat hook, and it was really slippery, and the wind machine and ripped. you know, the blankets of rain coming back. And I think he just slipped and he caught me with his boat hook right across here.
Also on June 5th, hip-hop duo Kid and Play get their own vehicle in Class Act, which is better than it has any right to be, although sadly the infection of Pauly Shore and Encino Man has spread to this host body as well. But also in the month of June, MTV decided to throw their first of many MTV Movie Awards. Now it's pretty hard to find footage of this event, but luckily I went into the Paramount vault and found some old newsreel footage covering the event.
Yes, the very first MTV Movie Awards with the cat's meow. Forget all the applesauce that was the Oscars. This was an award shindig voted for by the hotsy-totsy young people. Not a flat tire in sight. Just look at all the stars. Why, it's Robert Downey II. Why, he looks so excited like he's just eaten an entire box of Charleston Chew. And here's the cat's pajamas, the eel's hips himself, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He certainly knows his onions about the talkie industry. It's two of the biggest musical artists around. Ice-T meets Ice Cube. Any more ice turns up and we'll have a glacier. And En Vogue have turned up in their glad rags, really showing themselves off as a bunch of Oliver Twists. Look at this drugstore cowboy. It's Keanu Reeves, who won the hottest male category award. I'm sure he'll celebrate tonight with a tall glass of giggle juice.
Does it embarrass you a little bit? Is that
very much embarrassing? What I think about it.
Back to movies now. June 12th is Housesitter, a funny comedy where Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn get stuck in a web of lies, keeping up the pretense they are a married couple for their own personal motives.
From the sewers of Gotham, a new villain emerges.
You didn't invite me, so I crashed!
Tim Burton and Michael Keaton came back to try to repeat the success of 1989's Batman with Batman Returns. In this, Batman faces off against Catwoman, who gets her powers after she is pushed out of a window by her boss and eaten by some pussies.
The perfect enemy comes to life.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
Meanwhile, Batman must stop sex-mad Penguin trying to become mayor of Gotham, running on a platform of being tough on bat vigilantes and increasing the amount of bitten, bloodied noses. I actually prefer this over the original Batman from 1989, whereas the first one is more of a superhero gangster movie. This is an actual batshit crazy Tim Burton movie. It's got a great script, a beautiful Danny Elfman score that I still listen to when I do the dishes, and masked weirdos loving each other one minute, then beating the shit out of each other the next.
Hey, stud. I thought we had something together.
We do.
One person who hated Batman Returns was this woman, Sean Young. The actress had been cast in the first Batman film but had to drop out and was upset that she wasn't given a chance to audition for Catwoman this time. Needless to say, she didn't take the rejection very well.
So Catwoman strikes again! I have a message for the director of Batman 2. How dare you not make time to see the Catwoman, not even so much as granting me a meeting.
It wasn't the only scandal following this installment. A number of people were concerned that a film with such a dark tone was being marketed towards kids.
And by now you pretty much have had to have heard that the summer's big movie is Batman Returns. Some parents contend that Batman Returns is actually being marketed for younger children and the movie is just too violent.
When she drives by the movie, she says she wants to go see the movie, and when I tell her she can't see it, she bursts out into tears.
Let's get an expert opinion on that from USA Today's junior movie critic, 10-year-old Danny Slasky.
It was very violent. It was a total attack against kids. The whole movie. Everything that kids love was being used against them.
Everyone's flocking to McDonald's.
Yes, McDonald's were also worried that the new Penguin sewage-spewing Happy Meal toys weren't appealing to their target demographics. And sadly, despite making over $200 million at the box office, Burton wasn't invited back to do another Batman film. Despite how much I really love Batman Returns, I have to admit even I didn't realise till I was much older how full of sex jokes it is.
You have the ear of the media. Access the captains of industry. Unlimited poontang.
And a week later is Unlawful Entry. Kurt Russell and Madeleine Stowe get pestered by a creepy cop. There were a dime a dozen thrillers like this in the early 90s, and it isn't special enough to stick out in the memory.
I am the most romantic cat both of you know.
July is usually when you get a bunch of big hits, but it's pretty slim pickings this time. Eddie Murphy was sadly going through a dry spell of quality most of his 90s. In Boomerang, he's a Lothario who gets a dose of his own medicine, and we even get an appearance from another Catwoman this summer, Eartha Kitt. During my time doing this, I've had to sit through a lot of bad baseball movies. A League of Their Own is actually my favourite of them all so far, telling the story of women playing baseball during the Second World War.
Horse feathers, look at these ripe tomatoes. They're doing their part whilst their husbands are off giving Hitler a bloody nose.
No, that's enough from you. Cool World is a tone-deaf blending of the real world with animation. Brad Pitt is a cop in a world of doodles. The animation is often that ugly early 80s Black Cauldron style. The world of Cool World itself seems to consist of just two types of locations, either gritty 90s rave clubs or streets filled with doodles trying to massacre each other with axes. It certainly ain't no Who Framed Roger Rabbit. In fact, it's not even Space Jam. There's a lot of sex and smut in it. It feels like stumbling across someone's cartoon porn they drew themselves while stuck in captivity. Having to settle for sloppy seconds in the movie department, Alec Baldwin instead that summer starred in Prelude to a Kiss, a weird romantic fantasy tale. Baldwin and Meg Ryan play a couple who on their wedding get approached by an old man who asks for a kiss from the bride. This causes them to swap bodies Freaky Friday style, meaning Baldwin ends up stuck on a honeymoon with the spirit of a pensioner, whilst his actual wife shuffles around cosplaying as a geezer. The film plays this very wacky concept with a completely straight face, leading to what are supposed to be big moments coming across as unintentionally funny. The whole thing feels really like it would have been better served as a plot of an Adam Sandler comedy. On July 10th, sandwiched between all the big releases, there's a small coming-of-age drama called Gas Food Lodging about two sisters stuck in a small town.
It was a top-secret government project.
Pack them in ice. All of them.
Designed to create the perfect soldier.
No man would ever again have to die in the service of his country.
And also out that day is Universal Soldier. This movie starts with a 1960s flashback where Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren showcase Belgium and Sweden's little-known involvement in the Vietnam War, killing each other during a disagreement. Then it cuts to present day where these corpses are now reanimated Robocops doing the army's bidding. However, when Van Damme's robot goes haywire, he ends up being tracked by his old enemy Dolph, now in robot form. Universal Soldier made good money, and Lundgren and Van Damme even got into an orchestrated shoving match at the premiere of the film to attempt to sell the movie. This was actually director Roland Emmerich's first American movie, and he and its lead certainly stepped up their game in this, although it does feature those annoying traits that Emmerich's later films would be guilty of, including animated, annoying side characters who always comically overreact to whatever's happening in the scene.
In place.
This area is not secure.
You know what? Why don't you... What are you doing?
I'll have what she's having. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid is the forgotten inferior sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Jack Nicholson and Ellen Barkin flirt together in Man Trouble. A Stranger Among Us has Melanie Griffith as an undercover cop in the Jewish community. The only fun in it is seeing a young James Gandolfini playing a gangster in it, and then pretending you're watching a prequel to The Sopranos.
Yeah, Emily, what do you say?
About what?
About the watch.
Also on July 24th was Mistress, a half-decent comedy about selling a script in Hollywood. Damon Wayans got his own vehicle in Mo Money. The Bill and Ted writers made Mom and Dad Save the World, which is a good idea for a story where a married couple gets abducted by aliens, but it needs some stronger gags in it.
A touch of magic. Drink that potion, and you'll never grow even one day older. Bottoms up. No warning. Now a warning?
One of the few July films to have any points at all is Death Becomes Her, with Robert Zemeckis on a roll during this time. This is well remembered, gone on to become a musical, and even parodied in the Sabrina Carpenter music videos today. Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn play two feuding friends who resort to black magic potions to make them younger. It had big names attached to it, special effects that still hold up today, and it was a success at the box office. However, during its promotional tour, star Bruce Willis seemed to have his mind on other things.
It's my theory, and it's just a theory at this point, that the Babylonians were the first ones to invent pontoons.
Now, let's get his head, if we can, on to Death Becomes Her.
And finishing off July is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes, before the TV show, Joss Whedon wrote it into a movie script. It feels a bit half-baked compared to the well-loved series, although it does feature young, up-and-coming actors like Hilary Swank, David Arquette, and even Ben Affleck, who had a disappointing time on this movie.
Apparently, I'm so bad in that movie.
What?
I
don't what?
I had one line. I had one line. It was "Take it." I think the guy, I'm holding a basketball. Yeah. Another basketball player turns into like a werewolf or whatever, and I get scared naturally, as you might if you saw a werewolf and you were playing basketball.
Just pointy ears.
And I say, "Give the ball," and I think I say, "Take it, man." And I thought it was fine, and the director seemed happy. I went to the movie, and I was like, "That is not my voice. that is not me." Apparently the director hated my performance so much that she looped the entire performance.
Take it, man.
You know, I hate to bring this up, but you are married to the perfect man.
I don't know.
Car popped up out of Half Moon Marsh.
So let's root through the bins of August then. There's actually more stuff here than in July, starting with Raising Cain, Ryan De Palma's bonkers thriller where John Lithgow plays a man with multiple personalities who's trying to get revenge on his unfaithful wife. De Palma is one of those directors that even when he makes a stinker, you can't help but dissect the carcass of his flop and be impressed by what you find. Wacky camera angles, weird images. In this, it's almost like he's trying too hard to be clever. There's so many jumping in and out of dream sequences, it's hard to take anything that actually happens seriously. Oh no!
Honey, it's okay.
Oh wait, it was just all a dream. Wait, I thought she was dead! Is this another dream sequence, right? She's gonna wake up now? Lithgow plays multiple versions of himself, including his cool dude bad boy brother, who reminds me of Dr. Steve Brule's badass bro from Adult Swim's Tim and Eric.
What are you doing here?
I'm saving your ass, that's what. I was just supposed to come along as an observer.
Oh, Stan, tell our audience about your inventions. Did you ever invent a jetpack? I invented a jetpack. I was going to invent a skateboard, but I already have 500 of them, so I was like, forget it. I'll just make a flying surfboard instead with a jet ski engine on it. Really? I have about 150 jet skis. That's cool.
In fact, watching Lithgow go in and out of playing different members of his family can make it feel like you're watching a horror version of Nutty Professor 2: The Clumps.
Come on, honey, we've got to get back. Come to mommy.
It was a matter of honor.
They're paying $1,000 to whatever kills the two boys that cut up Delilah.
In a time when lawmen were killers.
What are y'all looking at?
And also on that same weekend is Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood writes and directs this, playing an old broken down version of the type of gunslinger he usually plays, coming out of retirement for one last job. Eastwood decided since the material was more dark, he would shoot the film in the dark, with many of the scenes going for a gritty, dimly lit, realistic look. It's a classic western with great performances, at least in the moments you can actually see any of them on screen. I've no idea what's going on here, but I think someone's getting beat up. Whisper in the Dark is a thriller where a therapist is haunted by a killer. Next week, James Woods and Louis Gossett Jr. starred in the boxing drama Digstown. Jason Ritter gets sucked into a TV and Stay Tuned. And there's an underrated point for Single White Female, a scary thriller about the world's craziest roommate that's worth seeking out.
Who cares?
Where the hell have you been?
Making me feel like I'm 16 years old here.
someone who borrows.
I've got a surprise for you. You've got to be kidding.
August 21st is William Dafoe as a drug dealer trying to reconnect with an old flame in Light Sleeper. Bruce Lee's son Brandon Lee continues to show off his talents in action flick Rapid Fire, and to celebrate the 500th anniversary of Columbus's voyage, we had Christopher Columbus The Discovery, which showcases the explorer as a swashbuckling Indiana Jones figure. It feels like the first episode of what should be a great HBO series, cataloguing the discovery of America, and it ends with a misplaced feeling of victory despite the fact all the other characters in it are all dead, and we know that history didn't turn out so great after this.
I shall.
There, Your Highness. There.
James Spader has another sex tape out on August 26th with the film Storyville. John Connor goes from fighting Terminators to haunted house pets in Pet Sematary 2.
Sorry, man. Straight flush to the jack.
To the Queen.
Wise men say
You owe Tommy Coleman $65,000.
only fools rush in.
Eddie,
Do you have a solution?
I do. I want your girlfriend for the weekend.
And I'm going to give another underrated point to Honeymoon in Vegas. Nick Cage and Sarah Jessica Parker star in the screwball comedy where Cage loses his girlfriend to a gangster in a game of poker. Everything about this story shouldn't work, and yet I personally found it really funny. There are memorable appearances from Mr. Miyagi playing a Hawaiian cabbie, and even a young Bruno Mars makes an appearance. Cage is very funny in it as well, slowly having a nervous breakdown, mastering his acting technique of talking normally 1 minute and then going really loud the next, making him sound like a walking, talking Pixies song.
I mean, what happens if you start screaming? It's like a jungle over there! Hey, I know that now, okay?
Chet, your surprise. Her name is Lil. She's my mother's sister's girl.
Federal.
It's Pomo. Postmodern. Yeah, all right. Weird for the sake of weird. Oh. I don't think he's from around here. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
So now we've been through all the films, but before we get to the scores, but first we find out who is the winner of the MVP of this summer and the new owner of this glamorous washing machine. And the winner is Ron Howard's dad, Rance Howard. It was actually a tie between him and another actor who appeared in the most movies this summer, but his films easily made the most money, so that's why he's the winner. So we'll send the award and washing machine over to his family estate. But on to the 1992 scores now. This summer got just 17 points, which ranks it almost at the bottom of the league table of summers. So summer 92 didn't bother the leading board, but Keaton's Batman still headlines the #1 summer on the list, so much to smile about, Michael.
Hey, look, I go for the phone. Does it look funny on the phone? I think that seems weirder. That does.